My name is Austin Hirschberger, and this is my video for EDL 853, Module 1. A little bit about myself. I grew up in Heston, Kansas, which is a small town located in south central Kansas, about 30 minutes north of Wichita. Graduated in 2015 from KU with my bachelor's in health and physical education. Currently endorse K through 12 health and PE, and I live in Lawrence still, where KU is located. My wife and I have been married for just over 4 years. We're both teachers. She teaches here in Lawrence, and then I teach over in the Basehor-Linwood School District, which is located between Lawrence and Kansas City. She actually teaches special education and works primarily with first and second graders. We've got a son. His name's Hudson. He's almost 2. He'll be 2 in December. And then we've also got 2 dogs pictured over there on the left. Their names are Gunner and Breezy. And then a few of my hobbies include fishing, golf, and woodworking. Professionally, this is my 5th year teaching, 2nd year in my current position, Baser. I teach K through 5 PE. I'm shared between 2 schools, Linwood Elementary and Glenwood Ridge Elementary. Linwood is located in Linwood, Kansas. They just had the tornado come through back in May. It's a really small Title I elementary school, one section per grade level with about 100 students total in the building over there. I'm there for about 2 hours Monday through Friday, or 2 hours per day Monday through Friday, and then the rest of my time is spent at Glenwood Ridge. Glenwood's a little bit bigger. It's still an average size school for Kansas with about 350 students, K through 5 in that building. Previously, I taught for 3 years as the adapted PE teacher in Washburn Rural over in Topeka. That was K through 12. Worked with students with special needs all the way as kindergartners, and then had some all the way up in high school. I don't have a SPED endorsement, but that's the majority of my SPED background was in the adapted PE role over there. Some of my current extra duties, I'm the assistant 7th grade middle school football coach. This is my first year with that duty. And then I'm also an MTSS reading and math interventionist, along with some of our other specials teachers. And then I also have the duty of facilitating our scheduling for facility rentals at Linwood Elementary. We have some homeschooled programs that rent out the facilities, and I coordinate those. How my school facilitates the use of appropriate content-based learning materials and learning strategies. We currently, I'm going to use Glenwood Ridge as an example. That's the school with about 350 students. We've got 3 special education teachers in that building, along with 8 full-time paras. We also, I would say we have about 15 to 20 students with special needs in that building. So we've got a pretty good ratio, a 2-to-1 ratio of support to students over there. Primary goal of the building is for students with special needs to spend as much time in their gen ed classroom while also implementing the necessary accommodation and supports. That should be the goal of any building, is for those students to be as included as possible in their gen ed classrooms. As far as the learning strategies, SPED teachers collect baseline data in order to create realistic benchmarks and goals for the students, and to also decide on what modifications need to be made to the school's curriculum. They collect that data at the beginning of the IEP year and then write their goals based on where the student is and then where they need to go, and then make decisions on how they want to modify the curriculum. And then also all teachers who work with a student with special needs, like myself or the music teacher or art or the gen ed teacher, whoever it is, if they work with the student, they're made aware of their behavior plan, accommodations that need to be made, and then emergency plans. We're made aware of these at the beginning of the year, and then also at the student's the beginning of their new IEP year. As far as my personal critique on my use and non-use of appropriate content-based learning materials, I feel like my experience as the adaptive PE teacher definitely prepared me for this current role. I think I would have been a little bit overwhelmed coming into this job, even though we don't have a ton of students with special needs. If you don't have a background with students with special needs, it can be a little bit intimidating at times. So I think that role really prepared me for this, because there are modifications that need to be made as far as the skill level in order to meet the physical needs of individual students in the classroom, and I'm able just to make those modifications kind of on the fly, and it's almost second nature at this point because of that background I had in adapted PE. When I do fitness testing in PE, as far as like the pacer test, we do a curl up, push up test, shuttle run, and then we also do sit and reach. Some of the students with special needs aren't able to do all of those things, and so my experience with the adapted PE allowed me to make modifications to those tests to allow for success for students with special needs. I try to make as the least amount of modifications as possible. Like I said, less is more in physical education. So if you make one modification and that doesn't work, then I might make another modification on top of that and kind of tier them based on the level of severity. My number one desire in my PE classroom is to see every student succeed regardless of physical ability. So trying to meet them at their level, whether they're a student with special needs or not. And then I'm also used kind of around the school as a resource to paraprofessionals. We have an adapted PE teacher in our district now, starting this year, but last year we didn't have one. So special education teachers, if we had a student come in with adapted PE on their IEP, they would kind of use me as a resource as far as suggestions on modifications for that student, or even some of their gross motor suggestions. A few of my proposed strategies, I mentioned that if a teacher works with a student with special needs, we're made aware of their behavior plans. I think we do need more trainings for gen ed teachers on how to handle those things. I know for sped teachers, it kind of they deal with it every day, but for teachers like myself, I might see a student twice a week. So having a little more training on what to do in an emergency situation, I think would be helpful. And then also having built-in collaboration time with those special education teachers in order to better prepare for those behavioral plans. All right, thank you everybody for watching my video, and good luck this semester.